Maseches Sotah Daf Chof Aleph. The Gemara discusses that the Mishnah says that a schus could be Torah for the Isha even if she's a Sotah. And the Gemara asks, if it's schus of Torah, she's not mitzvah. The Beis Halevi asks from this Gemara on that that's mavur in the Ogre that's brought in Beis Yosef that says that a Isha can make birchas Torah even though she's not mechuyev in mitzvahs Talmud Torah, and there's tiflus to learn Torah with a Isha, nevertheless, since she's in the parish of Kabbalah, so therefore she can make birchas Torah. And according to the Smag, she's mechuyev to learn the Torah of the mitzvahs that she is mechuyev. And the Beis Halevi is ma'irich to ask on the shita, how could it be there's a chiyuv to make birchas Torah? Because she's mechuyev in the mitzvahs Talmud Torah. And the Shumim brachas they brought from Chaim that she makes a bracha not because of the mitzvahs Talmud Torah, but because of the chefts of Torah. But the Beis Halevi asked that there's no mitzvah Talmud Torah like Tzavur in our sugi over here that she's not mitzvah for, and Tzavur in the sugi and kedushin daf chavtes as well that there's no mitzvahs Talmud Torah by Noshim. And the Beis Halevi answers that b'yesodei the pshat in the Oger is that he holds like the Rishonim, they can make a bracha even though ladies are not mechuyev on the mitzvah seisha as man groma, the Noshim are pot, nevertheless they can make a bracha. But the Oger was bothered by Talmud Torah since it's mavur in our sugya that if you learn Torah to Noshim, it's kilu malam the tiflus, and therefore it's also to learn Torah to ladies. So therefore, it's worse than a mitzvah setesha as mangroma that is a key of mitzvah because over here she can't learn Torah. So that the Augur said that nevertheless, since she's in the parish of Kabbalah, or according to the Smag, she's in the parish of Talmud Torah for the mitzvah that she is mechuyev to do. So therefore, she can make a bracha the same way she can make a bracha on a mitzvah setesha as mangroma. Ein der Pshach in Avi Ezi in the beginning of Hilchos Talmud Torah, the answers is kasha that there's two halachas in the mitzvahs Talmud Torah besides for the mitzvahs Talmud Torah for the Matam Moisim Espenechem. There's a second halacha that's a chelik of every mitzvah that you're mechuyev to learn. The halachas of the mitzvah, and that noshim are mechuyev, so on that it's also hativ. It's mavur in the Smag that she does make a bracha, even though it's mavur in our sugi, she doesn't have a chelik in ikka mitzvahs Talmud Torah, but she can make a bracha because she has a mitzvahs Talmud Torah, which is a chelik of the mitzvahs itself. Moving further on, Rashi says that the Gemara's kash is that since she's not mitzvah and mitzvahs Talmud Torah, so therefore ein schora godol kalkach k'moy mitzvah v'oisa. And tzorich in godol, the understanding in this Rashi's mashma, there is a schar, and it is a key mitzvah of Talmud Torah, and it's tzorich in, for that it's mavur. In Rashi and Sukkah daf mem beis, that Rashi's mavur, that a lulav that belongs to a lady would be muksif not for the fact that it's roi for netila of a man. And it's mavur mitzad the netila of a isha since she's not mechuyev in the mitzvah, so therefore it doesn't have halacha of a kiyah mitzvah b'chal, and therefore would be muktzah and ayin hagoyis ashvil. That's mavur in Rashi that there's no kiyah mitzvah by netilas lulav v'isha, and tzorchi, and has the shtim with Rashi over here. The Rashi says by noshim, since they're not mechuyev in Talmud Torah, it is a mitzvah, even though they're not mechuyev in Talmud Torah. Eine sefer Oil Yisrael Chonon from Chaburas Dirshu Maseches Nedorim that we mach b'siyat Shmaya to answer this kasha, and through this we proved the geder mitzvahs Talmud Torah by someone that's not mechuyev in Talmud Torah. And over there we wrote a tshuva to the Baal Kovetz Halachos Hagoyin of Daniel Kleinman Shlita that discusses in the Sefer Legabe. What's the halacha of someone by the 9 days could eat fleishigs if a cotton makes a siyam? And do you say that since a cotton doesn't have a mitzvah Talmud Torah himself, although the father has a chiyuv deraisa to teach him Torah, he himself doesn't have a mitzvah Talmud Torah, so therefore he doesn't have a halacha of a siyam? Or they say even though he's not mechuyev in Talmud Torah, it has halacha v'siyam. And a similar discussion we discussed that the Chuvas Marsham and Kol Bo Hilchas Avelis that discusses what's halacha that by a koton on the day of his bar mitzvah does he have to make birchas HaTorah by night, because the birchas HaTorah that he made in the morning was at a time that he wasn't mechuyev in Talmud Torah, and now that he's mechuyev in Talmud Torah at night when he becomes a gadol, maybe he should have to make a new birchas HaTorah. So in Sefer Oil Yisrael Chanon, we discussed that Be'emes it's tzorich here in Pshan, this Rashi has Rashi Shtim Rashi and Sukkah, so we answered that Be'emes it's Mavur and Reb Chaim and Seif and Hilchas Korban Pesach, a tremendous yisoid that Reb Chaim discusses the halacha that a koton that was nesmana on Korban Pesach when he was a koton doesn't have to bring Pesach Sheni, and it's tzorich here, and why is it different than that's Mavur in the Gemara Shonda V'Chavches, that if you have someone that's eating cholim v'eatim shoita, if he eats matzah at the time he's a shaita, he has to eat again at the time that he's cholim, that he's a barda. So who din over here by Korban Pesach, the fact that he was nesmana for Korban Pesach when he's a katan, he should not be yotzi dei chivasoi, and he should have to eat a Korban Pesach again. So Chaim says two tirutzim to this kasha ein kesef mishnah. Chaim says the first teretz is that Korban Pesach, besides for the mitzvahs Korban Pesach, there's a hakrovas korban. You find that even a goy could be makriv a korban even though he doesn't have a mitzvah. So katan, although he doesn't have a mitzvah of hakrovas korban, nevertheless the korban's oiloloi, and he has hakrovas korban of Pesach Rishon. And Reb Chaim says his second teretz, that it's cholik b'yisoid the mitzvah achilas matzah and the mitzvah achilas korban Pesach, because by mitzvah achilas matzah, all you have in the mitzvah is the chiyuv, and if you don't have a chiyuv to have achilas matzah, there's nothing that's going to make the achila into achila of mitzvah. However, by Korban Pesach, besides the actual ma'aseh mitzvah, the korban is a korban, is oiloloi, and the fact that there is a korban that's oiloloi, that itself could be mashva the actual ma'aseh into ma'aseh mitzvah, even without a chiyuv. So according to this, we wrote that who had din by kiyum mitzvahs Talmud Torah, since with the mitzvah Talmud Torah, it's not only a ma'aseh mitzvah, rather the entire bria is oimid on the mitzvah Talmud Torah. So therefore, the fact that through the learning Torah, there's a kiyum of the oilam that itself is mashva the mitzvah into ma'aseh mitzvah, and therefore, even though not mechuyev in Talmud Torah, it has halacha like a ma'aseh mitzvah, even without a chiyuv. So it's also hativ that Rashi over here says that there is a schar porto because it is a ma'aseh mitzvah and scholuk from the Tilas Lulav. So according to this, it's mavur hativ that a bacha bar mitzvah doesn't have to make another birchas HaTorah at night, and yesh lodin ahu adin. You're going to eat fleishigs by the siyam of a cotton because it has the status of a mitzvah even without a chiyuv. And B'siyat Shmaya found a raya that Iki Yisoy, the Talmud Torah, is different than all the mitzvahs from Mishras of Baron, Mamorim Chilik Dalet, that he asks, how is it the Hevel Tinoki shall be Srabim is a kiyum of the Oilom? They themselves don't have a mitzvah. All the fathers of mitzvah themselves don't have a mitzvah. And he writes, like the Yisod that we mentioned, that Torah is different than other mitzvahs and doesn't pertain to Allah of mitzvahs tzrichas kavana, because since with their ma'aseh neskayim the brio, and the whole brio was created for Talmud Torah, so therefore it's chala din ma'aseh mitzvah even without a chiyuv. Moving from on, the Gemara says that the Isha has the schar of mitzvahs Talmud Torah by the fact that she teaches her son Torah and she waits for her husband to come back from the Beis Medrash. That's her schar, and that's her schus in Talmud Torah. The Meiri writes that not only for the schus of her son and the schus of her husband, but if she herself learns Torah, that learning Torah also is a schutz that's Torah. And the Chodim asks that Sorchi and Godol, because Klapi, her Lima Torah itself, she's Eda Mitzvah voice, and the Gemara only answered that she has the schar of her son and the schutz of her husband. And the Urusum Yashiv that says that since it was a schadish in the Gemara's teretz that she has the schutz of her husband and her son, so she's Meshach Shayach to the mitzvah of Talmud Torah. So therefore, even if she learns herself the schus of her Torah is Megan. It's Tzorchi and Akati. What's the connection? The fact that she's Meshach Shaykh to the husband's learning and her son's learning. What does that have to do with that she learns Torah herself? So the Chayyim could explain the answer to the Miri according to tremendous Yisod that he heard from the Mashgiach in Lakewood, Matisio Salman Shlita, Shavafur Shalema, in the name of Moshe Soloveitchik Zechon Levracha, that he said a tremendous Yisod in the Gabi together, Mitzvahs Talmud Torah, yes, and what is Mavur, and more in the Chavtosim and Beis, in Kedushin, B'noi Lil Moed, V'hu Lil Moed, if B'noi Mizoris, Memulach Tvei, and the son could be koilet more Talmud Torah, so the son is koidem to the father, and so here, you don't find there gotta be other mitzvahs that there's such cheshbonis they have to weigh. If the son could be koilet more, so Moshe Zechon Levracha proved that the Gedder Chiyuv Mitzvahs Talmud Torah is not two independent Chiyuvim. He has a Chiyuv to learn himself and he has a Chiyuv to teach his son. Rather, it's one Chiyuv that he has to be Moisiv Talmud Torah in the world. And included in that mitzvah is to learn himself and to teach his son Torah. So therefore, there's a cheshbon one has to make that if the son could be koilet more and his mezuris more, so therefore he's mechuyev to teach his son Torah because it'll be neskayim Torah more in the world if he lets his son turn Torah and doesn't learn Torah himself. So going to this side, you could answer the maybe since it was neschadish that a lady, even though she's nesmayit herself, nevertheless she is included in the general mitzvahs Talmud Torah because she has to teach Torah to her son and wait for her husband to come back from learning. So therefore she's included in the mitzvah to be moisif Torah in the world. So what then if she herself learns Torah? It's a kiyum of the ikar mitzvahs Talmud Torah to be moisif Talmud Torah in the world. So therefore it doesn't have a status like Eina Mitzvah Isir